What's up guys, Rhino here and welcome to my latest FIFA World Cup video. So the day is here guys, the World Cup starts today. I'm super excited, I'm sure all of you guys are as well, to watch the opening match. So it's only Russia against Saudi Arabia, but you know, it's a game of football. We haven't seen a game of football in a few weeks of a high magnitude anyway. And it's just going to be superb, a whole month of football. It's a complete festival of it. You literally, you can't beat it. Everybody, it's what you live for in football really, the World Cup. Regardless of who you support, whether your team's going to do well or not, it's just really enjoyable to watch. You know, like all the best players in the world come together and, you know, perform some sort of like historical moments, like great bits of skill, great goals, stuff like that. But to sort of go along with the World Cup, guys, I'm going to try and do not so much like a series, just something still like obviously on the main channel, but just something to go along with it whilst I'm playing the World Cup mode, where I'm just going to be creating my own sort of combined 11s for the various, like, well, at first just for the group stages. So this one today will be Group A. So I'll be trying to make a combined 11 out of players that play for Uruguay, Egypt, Russia and Saudi Arabia, but obviously only players that I've got right now. So unfortunately I won't be able to make like the best team possible for all of them, because obviously, you know, I haven't packed a lot of the players. And then once the group stages end, obviously we'll know what the various fixtures are for the knockout rounds. So let's say, for example, one of the last 16 games was Uruguay against Portugal, because that obviously, you know, Uruguay Group A, Portugal Group B, so that's a possible last 16 fixture. So then I would just make a Uruguay and Portugal 11, combined one there, out of players I've got. And I think it'd just be quite interesting just to see, you know, like, well, for you guys to see what I think about it, and you know, you guys can sort of let me know as well. And I'll do, once I've made the team and put it all together, I'll do a little sort of what I think is going to happen in each group and each fixture and stuff like that, and little kind of, you know, my predictions really. But yeah, to kick it off, obviously we got Group A. Now I've already had a little look through just to see what I have got, to make sure that, you know, I could actually make a team for this. Unfortunately, I've not got players for every single position. I'm not fortunate enough in that case. I mean, I may have packed some at some point, but I've just not, you know, maybe not kept hold of them, because obviously I didn't really know at the time I was going to do this. So I've got a couple of positions which maybe might be a little bit makeshift. If EA are actually going to let me put a player into the squad. We've got the classic little yellow 18 at the bottom. I must have not pressed anything for a while, but at the same time, I've still got some pretty decent players that can fit in. And yeah, like I said, it's not going to be all the best players. I mean, you guys know I haven't packed like a Suarez or a Cavani, anybody like that. Not like a massive player, but at the same time, got some decent players that I can put in there. So yeah, it just be interesting really, I think, for you guys to see, like, out of all the players that I've got, and sort of put some of these players to good use as well. Like there's a lot of players in my club that are just sat there doing absolutely nothing, and maybe, you know, this is a way of putting them to good use. If you guys want me to play any games with them or anything like this, like the teams that I do put together, if you want me to take them any further than just sort of, you know, just literally making them and leaving them there and just kind of talking about what I think is happening in real life, then let me know in the comments if you've got any suggestions or anything like that for me to, you know, do these videos in a little bit more depth. But it's pretty much all it's going to be really, just finally, right, we can actually make a team. But yeah, it's pretty much just going to be putting the squad together really. So I'll start with Russia, because I'm pretty sure I've got a few Russian players. I think the easiest way to do it wouldn't be to actually search by position, because obviously I have to keep changing each team. So go through here. So Akinfeev is a decent player, so he might get in. Glushikov, Miranchuk, not Guilherme, because obviously we had goalkeeper there. Smolnikov could get in, and Kusayev, and then they're all goalkeepers there, so we'll leave them. From looking before, I believe this would probably be the best formation that I could go for, so I'll throw these guys in for now. We'll put all the Russians in that I think could make the side, and then we'll go on to the next team. So we'll look at Saudi Arabia, who are classed into Asia, aren't they? So have a look at them. So we got a couple of alright players. Obviously, I don't really know any of these guys, but nonetheless, I'll still put them in. This guy's obviously You know, he's a 75, so he'd be classed as a gold card. He's got good pace, so we'll put him in. Maybe the left back as well, just to get him some chemistry as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, this isn't going to have 100 chemistry, and it's not going to be that highly rated, but yeah, I want to try and get a little bit of chemistry if I can. So we'll put the left back in. Let's get it back on Saudi Arabia a second. I'll pop these two guys on the bench just so they're there, you know, visible. So if I do need to use them, I can put them straight in. Another team in this group is Egypt. Now, I've got Salah, who of course will have to go in. I mean, he's going to be like the standout player in this team, the gem of the side. And we also had El Neni, which is not a bad player as well. So maybe I might look at trying to get El Neni into there somewhere. Probably if I take out Kusayev and then move El Neni next to Salah to get that link, I can do that. Unfortunately, it's going to mean that Smolnikov isn't going to get any links really, because I mean, I could put El Neni in Cam, but as much as obviously, like I said, like I'm not going to get 100 chemistry, so I'll try and get as much chemistry as I can, but it's not going to be perfect, and I want to make sure the players are in the right position. I'm not going to put El Neni in Cam and drop Miranchuk into CDM just to get that Russian link. It's just, and then even if I did that, like I mean, then Glushikov's not going to be linking, is he? So there's no point doing anything on that front. And then the final team is Uruguay. Now, I'm not sure if I've got anyone. Have I got many? Oh, I've got a few actually. But whether or not they're going to be able to fit into my team or is another question, because I mean, you look, the positions that I need are centre-back and striker, and I don't have any, do I? So this is what I said, I literally don't have any centre-backs from these four teams, so it's going to be makeshift really. And I don't have any strikers either, but I'm going to put Gaston Ramirez up front because I know that he can play up front, and he used to, you know, when he first joined Southampton, he was there. And also before he joined Southampton, possibly, I may be making this up, but possibly it was like Bologna he was at. It was somewhere in Syria, I believe, and he used to play up front. So we'll put Gaston Ramirez as the striker for this team. Obviously, he's not going to be on any sort of real chemistry. Probably zero chemistry, maybe. Yeah, literally zero chemistry. No links, not the correct position. I'm not going to change a position for this. I'm not going to waste the cards, but this is obviously, you just imagine that he's a striker. When it comes down to centre-backs, now this is going to be a bit of a different issue. I could put some fullbacks in there or some CDMs to try and make it sort of as realistic as possible. Now, I've got these two guys from Uruguay. He's only 5'7", so he's not realistic going to play there, is he? He's 6'1", so he could play there. So we'll put him in. I feel like that's not too sort of far-fetched to put him in there as a centre-back. Obviously, I don't really know him as a player. I don't know what club he plays for. He may never have played centre-back in his life, but he's going to play there for me, and he's going to do a job in a hypothetical world. I don't think I had any other centre-backs, though. This is the problem. Because Egypt, there was literally nobody. There was no other players for Egypt. Asia, so Saudi Arabia, there was no other players at all. And it's just Russia, isn't it? It's just Russia that I've got to look at. But it was all goalkeepers, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure. Was it just all goalkeepers? There we go, Russia. Yeah, so these are the players I'm working with. So I could put a CDM in there. He's 5'9", not ideal. El Neni is 5'11", so I mean, you could probably get away with that. I feel like I want to say he's probably played there for Arsenal at some point, but then it means he's going to lose that link to Salah. But unfortunately, the chemistry is just, I mean, I've given up on chemistry. Let's be honest, the chemistry's gone at this point for this team, so we won't do that. But we'll put Kusayev back in there to get some of those Russian links. But I think that's going to be the starting lineup, really. Manager-wise, I can go for, I mean, I've probably got every single one I would have thought. I've got Saudi Arabia's, I've got Egypt's manager, I've got Uruguay's manager, and I've got Russia's manager. So I've got a lot. I'm going to go for Oscar Tabarez, the Uruguay manager. Probably like the most high-profile one there. We'll throw him in. I'll put a little bench together as well. I know, like, obviously there'll probably be a lot of goalkeepers on there, but we'll just chuck them on there, just for visual representation, just to show the guys there. Got a lot of Russian goalkeepers. Got 4. Wow. Give me some centre backs. Yeah, there was no players there. There was literally nobody at all, was there? There's a couple Uruguayans actually. We'll throw him in there. To be fair, I could put a right mid in, but then obviously like the wingers aren't really an issue, are they? And the centre mid's not really an issue either. I could put in, say, Glushikov out, but no, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that team. Let's just take him out because he's not needed. Change these guys over just to get the players in the position order as well, to make it a little bit easier to sort of run through. But yeah, that would be, going by the players that I have in my club, that would be my combined 11 for a Group A team. Let's face it, that wouldn't get out of the group, would it? We've got Akinfeev in goal, Smolnikov at right back, Mohamed El Neni filling in at centre back, Gaston Silva filling in at centre back as well. We have Mansour Al Harbi playing at left back. Left midfield is Nawaf Al Abed. We've got Denis Glushikov in CDM. The other holding midfielder is Dala Kuzayev. On the right side of midfield, we've got Mo Salah. I'll just do that just so you can see, but everyone knows who he is. In Cam, we've got Alexei Miranchuk. And leading the line would be Gaston Ramirez with that wand of a left foot that he's got. Players to bring off the bench to try and make an impact. We've got Guilherme, the Russian goalkeeper. We've got another Russian goalkeeper in Selikov, in case we get another injury. And we've got Carujo, the Uruguayan right back, as an option. Saudi Arabian holding midfielder, we've got Al Khaibari. There's also Alvaro Gonzalez, who is a Uruguayan centre midfielder. We've got Carlos Sanchez as a pacey winger to bring off the bench if you want to play on the counter or just inject some pace into the game. And finally, there is Al Sherry, the Saudi Arabian winger. So, a lot of unknown entities at the moment for me, but, you know, like, we might look back at this video and after the matches over the course of the group stages, a lot of these players might become a bit more well known, and we might look at these players in a different way and say, actually, that's a very good player that you've got there. Maybe not the best player on the game, like on FIFA, but a good player in real life. So that's my team, guys. Just finally want to end on what I think might happen in this group. For me, Uruguay would be the favourites. As good as obviously like Salah is, it seems like he's probably not going to make the opening game, so he's a bit of a doubt. So, and I don't feel like, just looking at it on paper, like, don't get me wrong, this is all on paper what I'm going by. So like, I can't judge like Saudi Arabia, to be honest. I've never seen them play. And I'm not going to sit here and sort of, you know, like bullshit my way like through it and say all this stuff about all these players that they've got that are really good, because I honestly don't know. Like, I've not watched them play at all. And they may turn up today against Russia and they could put in like the performance of their lives and win the first game, and suddenly everybody would be like, wow, blimey, you know, they could be a contender to get through. But I don't know, so I'm not going to say. Russia, I mean, it's an odd one. Russia was, like, for a few years, like a couple of years ago, they did alright. I mean, they got to the semi-finals of Euro 2008, didn't they? But they seem to have dropped off a little bit. They don't seem to have as many, like, real high-quality players. Obviously, back then they had, like, Andrei Arshavin, Roman Pavlyuchenko. They had some, like, decent players. Nothing, like, amazing, but they don't seem to have as much these days. Probably the main player I think of is Zagoyev, who was... pretty sure he was part of Euro 2008. He was one of the youngsters in that Euro 2008 side. But I don't think they've got enough to get through. But then the thing is, obviously, them being the host nation, it always gives them a chance. If you like, whoever's the host, they always have the opportunity, because, you know, the stadiums are just going to be full of their fans. They've not got any of this sort of, you know, all these issues that they talk about with other teams of, like, traveling, like they you know, stuff they're used to. A lot of the Russian players play in the Russian league. They're used to it in their domestic football. No like climate problems or anything like that. Not that many teams are gonna have climate problems, you know, in Russia. I think because it's in the summer, I think it's fairly warm. I mean, I don't know for definite, but I don't think it's like bitterly cold like it is in the winter. I'm sure it's kind of just normal temperatures. It's not going to be like the last World Cup in Brazil where You know, like England played a game against Italy, which was in basically like a rainforest. It's not going to be anything like that. So not any sort of issues like that to contend with, but for Russia anyway. But yeah, I think being a host nation could get them far. It might take them through the first game and they might beat Saudi Arabia, but unfortunately I think if Salah's back for their game, I'm not sure if they play Egypt second or third, but I think if Salah is back for that game, I think unfortunately I think Egypt might just have enough to squeeze through in second. So my final ranking really for that, I'd probably say Uruguay to win the group, Egypt to come second, Russia to take third, and Saudi Arabia to prop up that particular group in bottom. But like I said, I could be completely wrong. I mean, I'm pretty confident about Uruguay, but the other three teams, very, very unknown entities for me personally. I've only really sort of followed a bit of the European qualifying, but even then, mainly just sort of England's games. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I'll be back with another one for Group B, but that's all I want to sort of talk about with Group A so far. A few predictions, my little combined 11. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Feel free to drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Like I said before about commenting if you know your opinions on what you think is going to happen in the group, and if I'm just talking absolute nonsense, I'm just waffling on. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.